About 3 weeks ago, I unboxed the Chuwi LapBook 12.3. I love its Surface Pro display, its all-metal premium design, and its low price. But I wanted to give it some time to see if it's really worth the money and how it would hold up. Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is the AMDtech review of the Chuwi LapBook 12.3. The Chuwi LapBook 12.3 comes in at a little over $300. I'll put the link below for more information and where you can buy one. Now right off the bat, here's what you get with the LapBook 12.3. You get your Intel Celeron N3450 Apollo Lake processor, you get your premium all-metal design, really top-notch, and you get your open M2 SATA 3 SSD slot, a highly recommended upgrade if you want my opinion. And you also get 6 GB of RAM, which certainly helps with performance. And of course, you get the Surface Pro display, a really nice display in its own right. And in addition to the 6 GB of RAM, you have 64 GB of eMMC flash storage. And it weighs a little bit over 3 pounds or 1.4 kilograms. But without a doubt, the best feature of this laptop is its 12.3-inch IPS matte display. It's a non-touch display with an anti-glare coating, and it has a resolution of 2736 by 1824, and that's 267 pixels per inch. And it has a 3:2 aspect ratio. This is a very sharp display with very deep blacks and very vibrant colors. We know from the Surface Pro 4 and the more recent 2017 Surface Pro that this panel is capable of 450 nits in terms of brightness. But in order to get better battery life, Chuwi turned it down to about 300 nits. And speaking of brightness, there's a known issue going from 50% all the way to 100%. There's very little difference in terms of increasing brightness. Hopefully Chuwi will issue an update soon to increase the brightness and to fix that issue. But one thing I'm not crazy about is its 2011 MacBook Air-like bezels. Not good. Either way, this is a great display, probably one of the best displays on an Apollo Lake laptop right now. In my 3 weeks of use, the sturdy hinge has remained sturdy, which is a good sign, and its all-metal build is really top-notch. I've been very impressed with the fit and finish of this device. On the right side of the device, you have your micro SD card slot. The cards sit flush, which is always good. You have your 3.5mm headset jack with very little interference and no static. You have one USB Type A and it's USB 2.0. And next to that is a Kensington lock port, not something you see every day from a Chinese laptop. And on the left side of the device is your DC in where you charge your device, your USB 3.0, this one is a USB Type A, and of course you have your mini HDMI port to connect to a TV or a monitor. Unfortunately, there are no USB Type C ports on this device. Now, as far as the keyboard is concerned, it's one of the better keyboards you'll find on an Apollo Lake laptop. It's got really good key travel, about 1.3mm, and it has pretty good tactile feedback. And there's very little flex in the keyboard, which really shows off its really solid build quality. Now there is a minor issue with the keyboard that I wanted to make you aware of. The placement of the power button above the backspace button is not a very good placement, as I would hit it inadvertently every now and then, causing the computer to go to sleep. This was really annoying, but it's certainly not a deal breaker, but something you need to be aware of. Now, as far as the touchpad is concerned, it's actually one of the better touchpads you'll find on a Chinese laptop. It's made out of plastic and you can do two-finger scrolling, and Windows 10 gestures worked as advertised. There are 2 speakers located on the bottom of the device. They're actually not that bad. They get pretty loud, about 88 decibels or so, and they are sounding pretty good considering this is a Chinese budget laptop. Let's hear them in action. The Chuwi LapBook 12.3 sports a 2-megapixel front-facing webcam. So this is the webcam on the Chuwi LapBook 12.3. On a budget laptop, I'm not really expecting outstanding front-facing webcam, and this isn't bad. It certainly will get the job done when you need to do a Skype, when you need to do a video conference. It will certainly work. It's not the best quality, it's not the best sounding quality, but it definitely will get the job done. So I'm not going to fault them too much for not putting in a higher end webcam, but then again, this is a budget laptop and I didn't expect anything more. So this has been the front-facing webcam on the Chuwi LapBook 12.3.
The LapBook 12.3 has Bluetooth 4.0 and it has dual band wireless AC 3165. Range was pretty good, reception was excellent. I have no complaints on that front. It has a 64GB Toshiba EMMC, which didn't do well on the Crystal Disk Mark test, as you can see here. It did a 115.3 on the read and a very disappointing 22.73 on the write. Again, very disappointing scores. The good news is you can install your own M2 SATA 3 SSD drive. Chuwi made it easy for you to access the drive bay, as all you have to do is remove the plastic lid. Remove one screw, install your SSD, screw that one screw back in, replace the lid, and you're done. And here's how it did on the Crystal Disk Mark test. It did a 529.8 on the read and a 170.5 on the write. That's because I used the AData SSD. I would recommend going with something like the Transcend, which got much better read and write scores. And here's how it did on the Geekbench 4 test. On the multi-core score, it did a 3835. On the single-core score, it did a 1362. Its built-in graphics did 8116. Pretty much the kind of scores we'd expect from an Apollo Lake processor. And for you gamers out there, here's how it did on the 3D Mark Firestrike test. It did a 204. Not very good. And on the Ice Storm Extreme test, it did 15,616. On the regular Ice Storm test, it did 23,715. And on the CloudGate test, it only did 2,887. Now, to put that in perspective, it was really towards the bottom of the list, or actually was on the bottom of the list when you compare it to other kinds of systems, with the 4K gaming PC being the top of the food chain. So the takeaway from this is that this is not a gaming machine. What I would use it is for light gaming and some word processing, web browsing, and some pretty much everyday use. Now, as far as battery life is concerned, here's how it did on the AMDtech endurance test. On what I call normal use with 40% screen brightness, YouTube, Netflix, light gaming, some light Photoshop, and some web browsing under the Edge browser, you're only looking at around 6 to 6.5 hours at most. Now, if you're going to do some more processor-intensive tasks such as gaming, video editing of any kind, which I wouldn't do on this kind of device to begin with, but if you're going to do it, it's going to drop to around 2 to 2.5 hours. That is the hit it takes, and don't forget it also has a very high resolution display, so that will take a toll on its battery as well. And as far as charging times are concerned, it will take 3 hours and 20 minutes with the device on to fully charge this device. That number drops to about 2 hours and 45 minutes with the device off. So, at the end of the day, can I recommend the Chuwi LapBook 12.3? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is yes, I can highly recommend it. I really like this device. I like its sharp matte display, its 12.3-inch Surface Pro display. I like the fact that it's not glossy and it really is a very sharp display in its own right, although it does have that brightness issue that we discussed. Hopefully it'll be remedied soon. I like the fact that it has 6 GB of RAM. It certainly helps with performance. I like its solid build and all-metal design, really top-notch, especially at this price point. I like the fact that it has a good keyboard and a nice trackpad, one of the better trackpads I've seen on an Apollo Lake laptop as of late. I like the fact that it has that open M2 SATA 3 SSD slot. Definitely want to do that upgrade if you do get this device, highly recommended. I like its decent speakers with its nice volume, not bad for this budget laptop. And I love the fact that it includes dual band wireless AC.
But as with any device, there are going to be things that need improvement. Here's where I think Chuwi could do better in the next iteration. First, its average battery life didn't blow me away. At 6 to 6.5 hours, it's mediocre at best. Now, of course, I understand that this does have a higher resolution display that we normally see on these budget laptops, and that certainly takes a toll on the battery life. And it does have these large dated bezels, a throwback to the 2011 MacBook Air. I don't know what's up with that. It's 2017, get rid of those bezels. And its slow EMMC speed certainly did not impress me. That's why I went with the SSD upgrade, a highly recommended upgrade indeed. And the brightness bug that we talked about is certainly an issue, and hopefully Chuwi will address this in a firmware update coming very soon. I didn't care for its subpar webcam, although it is serviceable, so you can use it when you need it in a pinch, and it did run hot when we did some light gaming. So it's something to keep in mind in terms of if you want to do some gaming on this laptop. Not really a gaming laptop to begin with, it only has the Apollo Lake processor. Please keep that in mind. But with those few negatives aside, I have to say this checks all the boxes you'd want, earning this the AMDtech Editor's Choice Award for the budget laptop out of China, making this worth your money. So what do you think about the Chuwi LapBook 12.3? Do you think it checks all the boxes that you'd want in a laptop out of China? I think it does. I like its screen, I like its premium build quality. It's all metal build. I like its keyboard and touchpad. Love the sound coming out of it, considering this is a budget laptop. Decent volume, decent sound out of those speakers. I like its open M2 SSD slot, as we stated earlier, really helps in performance. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Perhaps the best thing I like about this device is its price at around $300. You're really getting a steal in my opinion. I'll put the link below to where you can find out more information and where you can purchase the Chuwi LapBook 12.3. Also, what do you think about its chief competitor, the Jumper EasyBook 3 Pro, which I recently reviewed and gave high marks as well to. So, do you want to see a head-to-head comparison between these two? Let me know in the comment section below. That's something I'm planning on doing. Let me know if there's a demand for it, because I think these are two very competitive laptops coming out of China that are really showing that things are really looking up. Better build quality, better displays, better everything. Keyboards, speakers, really showing what they can do out of China at a decent price. But again, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in that comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review it. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.